Okay. I'll go to my GitLab account. I'll go to GitLab CI/CD itself. Okay. Hope my screen is visible. I'm audible clearly.
Yes.
Okay. So if you look at the .gitlab CI YAML file, we have variable section, which is equivalent to your variables that you declare in your which you configure in your AWS CLI. Say for example here, if you do a cat dot AWS credentials, right? So you get this default profile, access key and secret key. But when you go for GitLab CI, that is continuous integration execution, you are supposed to store these values somewhere in the GitLab. That's why we are storing these variables here. Okay. And before this, we have done one practice that if you remember exactly, then you will be able to recall and then understand. If you go to your DevOps group, and then if you go to your okay, I need to sign in. If you probably sign in, you will be able to see it. You would have been already signed in. I'll go with my Google. If I go to your group and then go to settings and CI/CD, that is a flow. You have already done it. That's why your pipeline is working for you. Otherwise, the pipeline would have failed. If you go to variables, and then you will see the access key default region and secret access key. All these variables are already configured for you. Can you quickly cross-check your GitLab account and tell me you have done this? The path will be your gitlab.com/groups and group ID settings CI/CD variables. I can ping you this link. You can probably change your GitLab group ID with the ID that you have. The same URL if you click and then just copy paste and change only the value of the URL here. So here you can just change the value of your GitLab group. Sorry, DevOps group. I hope you're trying to do this. If not, please let me know. I'll proceed further. Because,
Yeah, I'm on the page, Shankar, already.
okay, cool.
So I'm checking this AI default region. Okay. Oh, I'm able to see like whatever is showing on the screen. Like in your screen, I'm able to see that, but there is no value for that. Like I can see a value column in like separate value column for you, but I
Can you,
cannot see that column for me.
can you share your screen?
Sure.
You're
Yeah, I
supposed
sent the
to,
request.
you're supposed to change a GitLab ID, the group ID. If that is done, probably it is okay. Otherwise, you have to make a change. I allowed you to share the screen.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it is here. Okay, see, you're trying to see from your project. That's why it is not showing anything. It is a protected one. From the
Mhm.
project level, you cannot see it. Can you just click on the DevOps on the top? Yeah, click on the DevOps.
Okay.
You are in the group right now. Okay, it is a group variable that
Mm-hmm.
we created. So if you go to settings now and then go to CI/CD and variables, and you
Oh
see that, I mean, you
yeah.
will see the value.
Mhm. Okay.
Basically,
Okay. Got it.
group level variable that we created so that it can be used inside any projects within this group.
Got it.
Okay. Any other doubts with respect to the variables that we declare? Srini?
No, Shankar. So whatever we have that under the AWS credentials, it is uploading GitLab, right,
Yeah,
along with the default region.
correct. See, when you execute your Terraform code locally, it is supposed to use your variables from your AWS configuration, right? Which is in your local
Yes.
machine. Whereas if you execute from your GitLab, it is supposed to use a variable which is declared in GitLab account. That is why we created a
So
group
when it is
called.
created like pre-setup.sh or where when?
No, no, no. You created it manually, maybe a couple of weeks back or 3 weeks back.
Yeah, yeah. In initial time we have created in the settings.
Correct, exactly. That's when you created it. Okay,
Okay.
you're talking about, okay, in that case, okay, I'll just quickly share my screen. Hope my screen is visible. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Shan. Yes.
Okay. So if
Yeah,
you go
Shankar.
back to the GitLab CI/CD, here this is created using the presetup.sh. Correct. You're right. I mean, it will just use the existing file and which will modify only the bucket name. If you probably go to this GitLab CI/CD repository and go to vars underscore data, you will have a GitLab CI YAML file with a dot vars. Basically, see you see key underscore file dot pem, s3 underscore bucket name. All these variables are already there, which is getting replaced by the presetup.sh. So if I go to .gitlab ca.yaml file, this one has ec-cacd.pem. This one has my bucket name. The same thing if I show you the vars file, vars underscore data, sorry, my underscore vars.sh, you will see that name is given Shankar, key file is given as EC to CICD. So according to this, it is updating the variables here, here, and then creating a file here. So if you see the .gitlab YAML file, which is getting updated and it reflects with the new values, whatever values that you give it. Rest everything remains the same. See, if you look at the Terraform, sorry, the CI/CD pipeline YAML file, you have four different stages, similar to what you have in your manual execution: validate, plan, apply, and destroy. Can you mute yourself, Srini? Okay. Then you have image, which is nothing but which is a Docker image, which will be used for executing the pipeline. Since it is not going to be on your local machine, it has to run on a particular operating system, which is nothing but a Docker operating system, which contains a Terraform software. So, with respect to Docker, if you look at it, it's a packaged version of smallest packaged version of an operating system, which contains only the minimal required software to run the particular application. So here we'll be packaging only Terraform inside this, and it'll contain a very basic operating system which can run this Terraform code. Not like the full-fledged operating system where virtual machine will be using the full-fledged operating system. So when we go to Docker containers, we'll have a look at how the Docker works. So at this point, you can just understand it is just a smallest operating system that can be found in the world that can serve running an application. we'll have a more deeper discussion later. But after that, see, before script is something similar to your pre-setup where you are trying to create install AWS CLI, which is similar to you install AWS CLI on your machine, right? Like that, and then you are trying to verify whether Terraform is installed or not, and you do a Terraform in it in the before script. So before script is something which gets executed of before every stage that you call it in your pipeline. So before validate, the init will run. Before plan, again your before script will run. Every time before you run the stage, the before script will get executed. Similarly, we have after script that also gets executed once the stage is completed. So you can think of like before script is like a preparation script, after script is like a cleanup script. Okay, now moving on to the final stage, which is destroy stage. Here we execute only based on the manual execution, not automated execution. So that's why I'm just putting when means when it is going to be executed only by manual click, not by automated click, not by automation. Here, if you see, you have a uh, uh, test or script. Um, it's like one of the execution step within the pipeline. See, normally what you do, you just run a Terraform apply, right? So in order to do a Terraform apply, you are supposed to run that on a terminal. Here, that's why we're saying it is a script. It's a shell script which is getting executed, which is nothing but Terraform apply command dash dash auto approve, and then simple basic Linux commands that we do on the command line. So finally, we are having AWS S3 CP that will copy the file from your execution machine to the S3 bucket so that it can be copied to your local machine later. That also I'll explain later. Now, if you look at this apply, this plan is all about your name of the particular execution. Whereas this stage plan, stage validate is exactly like whatever stages that you declared here. So you have to be very careful with the stage name because you cannot give a stage name apart from whatever you defined here. You can give the job name, anything different, that is up to you, but stage name must match with the stages that you already declared. You are telling that these are the stages that I'm going to execute and I will call them in the bottom. That's what it means. Okay, any doubts so far?
So based on that Git update, Git commit, it is uh, triggering, right?
Yes.
These
So,
stages.
yeah. No, not these stages. The pipeline will start. So, pipeline will start means it will run all the stages one by one, as long as stages are completing without any problem. If there is a problem, it will automatically stop because you see dependencies validate, right? So if you say dependencies validate, unless validate passes, it does not go to plan. Similarly, if you go and see dependencies plan, so unless plan succeeds, it will not go and do apply. Similarly, destroy also, there is a dependency that is apply. So if apply is not complete, destroy cannot run.
So yesterday we have not done any settings or things. Just we update something commit first time and second time commit it is started, right?
Yeah, see, in order to write this pipeline YAML file, it is pretty simple. But
Okay.
thing is, it is exactly the same as how you do it from the command line. You just need to define your stages. You just need to define your variables. And then this is the uh, little difficult part. And moreover, you have to copy paste some content from internet so that I mean how the Docker image can be used inside. What is the entry point? Entry point is nothing but the path variable that you set, right? In your Terraform, when you copy the Terraform to your Windows folder. Similarly, we are trying to set the path and use this user bin env location to run the Terraform code. Terraform software, not the code, Terraform software. So Terraform code will be called by checking out the repository of this repo, and from your current path, it will execute Terraform init plan and validate. Sorry, init validate plan, apply and destroy. So the Terraform will read all the .tf files and go ahead and configure your AWS cloud based on the configuration that you have in your Terraform file. It will create resources, it will modify resources, something like that. Okay. Any more questions? Anyone? I'll go to the pre-setup.sh script. So what set does is set replaces the value, the variable to a value. So bucket name is that is given in my vas.sh, that is getting sourced from this line, and then it replaces a value vars underscore data dot GitLab CI YAML vars, and then it creates a new file called dot GitLab CI YAML file. So here we are just replacing only the bucket name and the key file name. Then if you go to the backend.tf, when it is creating the backend.tf, it is updating the key file, DynamoDB table name, bucket name, all this. Again, you have a main.tf. Here also we are updating the key file name because we want to use a different key file name while you are creating your resources in AWS Cloud, especially from the pipeline. So we are using profile default because we use the default profile for our execution almost everywhere. We'll talk about a custom profile also later. So if you look at this, I am trying to copy create an S3 bucket using S3 API call and create a DynamoDB table using the AWS CLI, AWS DynamoDB option. Okay, you may have to just copy paste this code and then put it in ChatGPT to understand what exactly this sequence of commands does in order to understand a little better. Okay, similarly, how you run the pre-setup.sh, you are supposed to complete all the pipeline stages, run Terraform destroy stages, and then do a cleanup.sh so that whatever resources that you created is removed. See, AWS S3 RB means remove bucket with force, it removes everything, and then it also deletes the DynamoDB table. So it is important to run this cleanup.sh script after you complete your pipeline execution along with the destroy. Okay. Any doubts?
So like this SHF file, when it will be executed? Shankar, like after the TF file or how it will execute?
That's why it is important to see the video, yesterday's video. You are supposed
Okay.
to run the pre-setup.sh script before you configure the pipeline. You are supposed to also push your changes to the repository.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
For changes that you
Right.
have in your local machine, that you have to push it.
Okay. Okay. I will check with the video also. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Any more questions? What you can do is today you can clone my default VPC into your different folder. Say, for example, I'll give you the steps. You need to identify what things you need to do. Say, for example, default VPC, which is the latest one, that you go to your Say I'll create a directory, my dash default dash CICD. So you can also create something like this, my dash default hyphen CICD. Or you can say so that you get a clear picture. You can also do, so what I'll do is I'll do a git clone. I'll remove this. This way also you can do it. I think iPhone O is correct. Let me cross check. Already exists. Okay, it is just a target folder the way this we just need to mention, not O option. So it will create a folder like this, and you can go there. My default is CACD. Now, what you can do is you can change your .git config file to reflect whatever repository that you want to push it. So it is something like git at gitlab.com. Git at gitlab.com colon like this. So that it reflects the same name for you. If I, sorry, I can just simply do a git add git commit name. So it has created a default VPC with the CI/CD. Now I need to configure CI/CD here. For that, I need to copy the .gitlab CI YAML file that I'll copy from here. You could see that I have the .gitlab CI YAML file that is copied from here. Only thing I need to do is here, everything else is same. I need to change the key name here, bucket name here. Bucket name must be recreated, created by me before I run the pipeline. Say V2, I'll just say V2. The only difference would be AWS version Terraform init. Here, you are going to do a CD because you need to go to one particular folder where you have the Terraform code. Okay, now I need to find out this particular key name is updated in the my modules, use modules, main.tf. I have a key named this one Only in couple of places I changed it. I'm updating it. Rest everything seems to be okay. I'll go to use modules. I'll do this. Most probably it should be okay if I go to modules. Here we are just using where.key name. So we don't have to modify anything in the module section. If I do a git diff, I'll see the difference. But only thing is I need to make sure that DynamoDB table is already exist. Only the thing I need to do is I need to create a S3 bucket. What I'll do is I'll do a resetup.sh. Here I have this command that I can use it. I'll say bucket name equals this one, and then copy paste this command. Profile I need to say default, or I can leave the profile because it's going to create in the default row. So this bucket is created. So I'm just making use of the existing script. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm just trying to make use of the script which I have already created. I just need to make sure the bucket name variable is declared before it is being passed on to this command. So my bucket is created. Now if I run a git add, git commit, git push, pipeline should work fine. Pipeline should get executed. So if I go to here, DevOps, my dash default my dash default VPC-CACD is created 5 minutes ago. If I go to build and pipelines, I should see the pipeline is running. Yeah, so pipeline is just started. New CACD for default C, default VPC pipelines. Okay. So if I want to see the status of the pipeline, I can go to the pipeline ID and check each stage one by one how it is going. If I want to check the pipeline stage, the plan stage, I can click on the plan stage. I can see the logs from the pipeline. This would probably mostly work fine. Okay, no files to upload. Probably something went wrong. But the job succeeded. It could be because of the S3 file name. My dash new dash. I think we are supposed to use this one. Use underscore models. I'll check the pipeline once again. Rest of the stages worked fine or not. Wait, till apply it worked fine. I'll go ahead and then rerun it once again. This will trigger the pipeline once again. If we go to the pipelines, I will see the pipeline is started once again. You could see that the folder name changed, that new commit is running the pipeline. I should be able to see things are going fine here also. Okay. Now what I would suggest is you guys follow the video or maybe share your screen, start doing it from your side. I'll stop the recording for now.